Okay, today we're going to be changing the lights on this XJ with some interesting looking Amazon special ones that specifically say they're for the XJ. Take a look. Okay, today on this XJ, as you see, this old Sylvania halogen's got a big bobo in it right here. And then, anyhow, so we all know these XJ headlights just suck. So we're going to put some of these that I got from Amazon. I did pay for these, so this is not a sponsorship. Unishine 5 by 7 LED. HE blank 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 bull with Cherokee XJ new, of course, made in mainland's finest. So this is says it's got some installation instructions, even has a nice picture of an XJ on there, so that's kind of cool. In here we've got what seems to be some of those truck light knockoffs. I really like the look of these. Seems to be very beefy. The problem with XJ headlights, if you get them from Amazon, is they're kind of wide back here. These are tapered, so these should fit in the factory headlight bucket without any modification. So let's take a look. Just to give you a little hint what's happening here. So we'll turn that on, and you'll see there's a ton of they look kind of yellowish. This one, even though it has a hole in it, still works. But, I mean, there's a lot of videos, comparison and stuff. I'll just show you what these look like at night. Not necessarily these, but I'll show you what those look like. Okay, as the other 100,000 interweb videos that show you how to change XJ headlights, there is a Phillips screw here and a Phillips screw there. And then the whole thing just kind of lifts out. So we'll go ahead and take those out. Okay, this one on the outer is longer. Not sure why that is, and then it should just lift right out. There you go. You see it's got these little tabs there that go right underneath there. Should paint that, but this little trim ring. You've got two up here, two down here. These are all Phillips also. Now these tend to be, if you've never changed them before, they tend to get very rusty, so you might want to spray some penetrant lubricant on there. Just be careful when you take this last screw out. The light just may fall. There's the trim ring. Put that right here. Don't hit your battery with that because you'll arc. And then we go and pull out this. I've had these headlights out before, and so I always put a little dielectric grease on it so they can come off easier. But you may have to put some penetrant on here and pry this up with a screwdriver. Oh, by the way, I do recommend disconnecting your battery before you start this. All right. As you've seen from my other videos, I always recommend whenever you disconnect any electrical connection, go ahead and clean out it. It'll just save you some headache in the future. Okay, we'll go ahead and take this out. I'm going to leave that protective sheath on there right now. Okay, here is the back of it. I'm going to go ahead and put some of this super lube, which is also dielectric grease, on here to prevent any issues in the future. Just a dab will do. It plugs right in. The nice little pigtail gives it some room. Okay, so it goes, I would imagine, with the wording faced upright, so you don't put this thing in upside down. So I'm going to kind of sit this here, and we are going to turn it on real quick to see if it works. We'll click it on there, come over here, and as we see, it is working. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it off right now so I don't run the battery. Top lit up, and as you can see from the instructions, that would be the low beam, and the bottom beam or the high beam would be both. So let's put on the high beam just to make sure. Turn it on, and then put it on high. They should both be illuminated, which they are, so we're good on that one. Turn it back off. Step is to put this back on. As you see, the spacing is different. The smaller spacing goes on the top like this. The ring fit nicely around the bulb, and then we take it and make sure you don't crimp any wires or pinch them, and then you set it in, and this fits perfect right up in there. Put the retainer back on with the 4 screws. Big reveal. We'll pull this off. Now, one thing you don't want to mess with, this is your adjusting screw, so do not mess with this one. You're only concerned about the top two and the top bottom. See a field service manual or another type of book if you want to learn how to adjust it. And of course, installation is just the reverse. We put this trim ring back on like that, and that's what she looks like. Okay, let's do a comparison. All right, these will be the low beams. We will see what the difference looks like between the two. There you go. Okay, now these headlights do come with a special pigtails in here, which is really nice. And this is for some different wiring configurations. So again, these are not XJ specific, but well, the sticker says they are, but these things will probably fit on numerous things. It also gives you some tips and suggestions. You can even put a daytime running light or a turn signal right in the middle, which is kind of neat, but I'm not going to do that, and we don't even need these. Okay, that's them installed, but we're not done yet with this upgrade. Okay, a problem this XJ has is this switch. I hope it's a switch, because the interior dash lights, you got to push and pull to get the interior lights to come on. And so I think it has to do with this switch. So we're going to change the switch out right now. I think this is kind of a pain to do, but I'll give you as many steps as I can. First thing we're going to do is take this knee buster off. There are 2 screws here, one here and one down there. So we have to take those out. Okay, that's what they look at. We're going to do this quick. Then you just pull on this. Here's a center one. Sorry, forgot that one. Then this thing comes out. 3 screws. All right, now we're going to take this metal plate off. 1, 2, there's 4 screws on this. There's only 2 screws, and then these 2 little tabs here to hold that in. And then I'm hoping that I could reach back underneath here and get this. Some people show to take all this off. I really don't think you need to do that. Okay, and before you really have a bad day, you need to take a look at this. I'll show you a little feature on this. Switches in the early era of vehicles had this little button on that, and this little button here is what keeps this plunger inside. So you have to press this while pulling on this before you can do anything else. So we're going to try that. I'm going to reach my hand way up in there and try to press that button. I can show you what that button looks like. Do you see? Let's see here. See if you can see that. You see the little button up in there? That is what you have to push. Basically, all I had to do was stick my hand up in here and press it, and then I was able to, to pull it out. You see how far it is out right now? So you have to press that button, and then you can just slide this on out. And once you do that, now you have this little area here. You have to unscrew that. You can just do that with a large flathead. And it just screws out just like this. Got it loose. I'm just going to take some needle nose pliers and pull that out like that. And the switch you should be able to fish it out down here somehow. All right, and you just kind of fish it out like this. Once you get it out, ground right here, and then there's your main plug. Now this is actually a source of issue on a lot of XJs where this melts. And I'm going to show you a solution for that. We're not going to do it on this vehicle. I don't think it needs it, but you'll see it in a second. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect this ground here like that. And then I'm going to get a little screwdriver. You see these are pinched, and try to wiggle that up without breaking. I do see some evidence of meltation. You see that right here? I don't think that's supposed to look like that. Before I finish removing it, you see you've got those little ends right here that need to come over it, and then I'm taking a screwdriver and slowly wiggling it up. I'm using 2 screwdrivers. One is right here, and one while I'm doing this. Make sure you have your battery disconnected again. Can't show you because I need one of my hands to complete it. And look at there. So there's our culprit here. Now, not good. So I think it's salvageable, but I'm going to show you the reason that this happens is because the entire load of those lights go into this switch. There's no relay system. The XJ has a relay box over here, but it does not have a relay in it for the headlights. So I actually ordered for my MJ a headlight harness on Amazon to convert this to a relay system. So I think I'm going to use it on this to prevent this from happening in the future. Expensive. This is the 4 relay kit for this. I was going to use this one. I suggest you put this on every XJ. Bought this, it was like 15 or 20 bucks. They're not very expensive. They're different versions of it. Basically what it does is you end up hooking this into one of your headlight sockets, and then it goes to these 2 headlight sockets, and then you have a relay system. So when you energize it, the power goes through the relay instead of just through the switch. I didn't really plan on doing this today, but I guess I will. In order to fix this properly, I had to go to the AutoZone and pick this connector up, number 583. This is somewhat the same connector. It does have a couple of different wiring colors, but I think we can definitely make it work. So what I'm doing, I'm taking wire by wire, and I am crimping and putting some heat shrink on it. They're not exactly color-coded correctly, so you need to do it wire by wire. I'm on my last one here. You see some of them have 2 wires going in, and then the Duralast unit has a thick wire for those, so looks like this is going to be pretty good. Okay, I'm about ready to test it. I've got my knob back in there. The nice thing about doing this repair is now you have a lot more wires to deal with, except for this little ground wire. So don't forget to hook your ground wire right up to here. So let me do that. Okay, I'm about to go hook the battery up and we'll see if this works. Okay, I've got the battery hooked up, got the lights, new lights in. We still have to put the relay system in, but let's see if she works. I already hear that. That's probably a good sign. Looks like it is working. Okay, so let's check the tail lights. All right, we're good. This is the little button here I was referencing earlier. You have to press that in order to be able to pull this out. Again, take my battery cable loose. Don't want to fry anything. And when I do wiring harnesses or wire looms, I use this cloth tape. I don't use regular electrical tape because that tends to get brittle. This stuff works pretty good, and it's more factory looking. Okay, once you get that back up in there, it's not too hard. Then you just take this and you push it in, and it will click in like that. Oops. That's not right. Hold on. All right, there you go. Just had to push it hard and it popped right now. We just put all this back together. Okay, so now that we've got this all done, we're not done. We haven't solved the root of the problem of that thing melting. So now it's time to put the relay system in. I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, what this relay system is going to do, it's going to take the main load and put it through these relays here, because this is going to go directly to the battery. And then you have a one of these. So your black one here goes into the original wiring harness. Only one side is going to be used, and then you have the 2 sides that go to each light. And of course, both sides are grounded. So we've got to take this front, at least some of this front header panel off. At least that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so what I did was I took this grill off. That's real easy, just a few bolts. And you've got to pull these headlights out because we are going to route the wires through there. You see that? I find it easier to start with this driver's side. You are not going to use this one here, so you can just kind of tuck this in the back. You are only going to use this one. And then I ran the ground right up here. So it has its own ground. Okay, I took the battery out. It just makes it so much easier. So I went through this little hole down here. This is by the battery tray. Got to mount the relay somewhere around here. I've got the power wire here, the ground going right here. The first connector. You have 2 connectors on this harness. One connects to the factory harness, and this is for your headlight. And then if you come over here, I've got the cable ran down by the condenser, and then it comes underneath here, through here. You are not going to use this one, the original factory. You will use the new one, and I have it grounded up here. Got my relay screwed here. Got the headlights in. Got this routed down here. I'll zip tie that. That's going to be a tight fit with the battery, but should fit just fine. One last look at the installation. It does come with an inline fuse here. You see the lights are now being powered directly off of the battery into this relay system. So the relay system is taking the brunt, not the switch, and which will prevent it from melting. You have a ground here. It is hooked to that light, and I have it zip tied underneath there. And this is what it looks like at night. Extremely bright. And here's the light pattern. They're pretty decent. And the new switch, the dimmer, is working just fine. Well, that's about it for this headlight repair on the Jeep XJ. So I'll leave a product link in the description for everything that I use for the headlights, for that relay system, even for the switch. So y'all can take a look at that. I'll also leave some timestamps and a pinned comment. So those of you that are just here for either the headlights or the switch or even the wiring harness can go directly to that in the video. Y'all have a great day.